Hello everyone, this is Bill from NovaStar. Before we start today's topic, let's go back to review last course content, the screen blackout. When we encounter the blackout issue, we may see this situation. The first is full screen is blackout, and the second is part of the screen is blackout, including the specific cabinet or the module is black, or sending card's output area is black. So for this situation, full screen blackout, we can check screen power. Maybe the screen power is turned off. We can also check brightness value. Maybe a software or controller set up the brightness to 0. And we can also check the Ethernet cable to confirm the cable connection is stable or not. Also need to confirm the working status of sending cards and whether the controller detects the video source input normally. So we need to check the SIM card, Ethernet cable, and power, also the input source. And we need to also check the receive card working status is normal or not. So let's make a conclusion. For the SIM card output level, we need to check the screen power, Ethernet cable, and the SIM card. For the cabinet level, we need to check the power supply, Ethernet cable connection, and the receive card working status, also the hardboard connection. For the module level, we need to check the module power supply and the module hardboard, also the flat cable. And if there is a flickering cabinet on your screen, what's the possible reason? Here are two useful functions for us to locate the issue. The first one is the screen control. The screen control function is use the receive card to send the images to the screen. It will not use the signal from the sending card. And if we use the tester tool to test the screen, the content is from the video source. It means the video source is from the PC or the video processor. So if the screen is blinking, we can use the screen control function to locate the issue. For example, if the after using the screen command to the screen stop blinking, it means that the issue is from the video source or the Ethernet cable. If the blinking position is fixed on the screen, we need to check the sending card's output port, cabinet, receive card, module hub, and the flat cable. If the issue happens at the module level, we need to check the flat cable module power supply. Okay, today we will spend 1 hour together. During this time, I will show you the troubleshooting different brightness issue. And we also have question and answer time after my presentation. So you can post your question on chat area. And our experienced engineer, Oscar, will answer your question. Okay, let's start. First, let's check these two pictures. What's wrong with these two pictures? Left picture observes the brightness of left side is different from other parts. And if we check the right picture, we will find that some cabinets' brightness is different from others. So actually, there are two situations that we encounter more often. Where the screen encounter this problem, here are 6 possible reasons for different brightness. The first one is the cabinets use different brightness mode. It means the cabinets use some cabinets use the grayscale mode and some cabinets use the contrast mode. And second is that the cabinet use different RCFG files. And third is that different cabinets use different firmwares. And fourth is some cabinets open the calibration coefficient and some cabinets are not. And fifth is that the power supply of some cabinets is different from others. And sixth is that the screen uses multi-batch modules. So let's take them one by one. The first one is the grayscale mode and contrast mode. As we know that brightness information is always saved in the racing card. And our new LCD software version can support two different brightness adjustment modes, the grayscale mode and the contrast mode. So we need to manually adjust the brightness first to make sure the racing card is on the same brightness value. And then we select one of the working modes to make sure they work under the same working mode. And next, we need to adjust the gamma value to make sure that all cabinets works as the same gamma value. After that, we need to save to hardware, make sure all cabinets save the same value to the hardware. So first, we need to manually adjust the brightness, and second, we need to choose one working mode, and next, we need to choose the gamma value, and the last one is that we need to save to the hardware. And here are one question for you. Where do we save the brightness parameter? The first one is in sending controller, please tap 1. And if you think it's saved in the racing card, please tap 2. And we will give out the answer during the question and answer session. And the second possible reason is that the cabinets use different RCFG files on the screen. As we know that different RCFG files could be a very common reason. Because different RCFG files, the parameter is a little bit different, and it may affect brightness efficiency. Here, one point thing you need to remember is that if we check these two pictures, the right cabinet, the refresh rate is 3840, but the left cabinet, cabinet 1, the refresh rate is 9020. Also, these two cabinets have different shift clock frequency. The cabinet 1 has the frequency is 15.6, and another cabinet, cabinet 2, has the shift clock frequency is 20.8. So it will cause different brightness efficiency. We can check these two pictures at the left bottom part. Actually, the performance of JRC is limited. So if we adjust one parameter, another parameter will be changed. For example, this is a common chip IC. If we turn down the refresh rate, we can get higher brightness efficiency. As we change the refresh rate, we get a higher brightness efficiency. For these cabinets, refresh rate and refresh rate temps and the shift log frequency, all these three parameters will affect brightness efficiency. So for different RCFG files problem, what we have to do? The first method is that just read back the correct parameter from a normal racing card and then send to then it shows that this abnormal resync card is okay. For example, for this screen, first two columns have different RCFG files from other columns. So we just need to read the correct RCFG files from other columns. Then send the correct RCFG files parameter to the first column cabinet will be okay. Remember that all these parameter will all this operation will be done on resync card interface. And the second method is that we can load the original RCFG files and then send to the other screen to check. So the first method is read back from the normal cabinets and then send to the abnormal cabinets for the RCFG files. And method 2 is that we can load the original RCFG files and then send to the all screen. And here another question, the question 2. The question is that after sending RCFG files to all the resync cards and the problem solved, what's the next step? The first one is turn off and turn on the screen to check whether all cabinets have the same brightness or not. If you think the answer is this one, please tap 1. And second is click Save to Hardware before turning off and on the screen. Please tap 2. And we will also give out the answer during the question and answer session. And the third reason is that some cabinets with different firmwares. The different firmware may also cause different brightness issue because the instruction in different firmware may be different. So we need to find the correct firmware. You can check with your screen supplier or NovaStar service. We can try to help you find the corresponding firmware version, especially if it's a customized firmware. Then you just need to upgrade the correct firmware to the resync cards, which are different brightness. Then confirm all the resync cards works with same firmware will be okay. So if we check at the firmware, we need to log in and then check admin as the main page. Then we will go to the firmware upgrade page, and then we just click the refresh, and then the software will show all the firmware information on the screen. For example, in this picture, it has 3 different firmwares, and you need to check which port is which resync card and cabinet is normal, and and these cabinets use which software, which firmware, and then you need to upgrade this firmware to other abnormal cabinets to confirm. So the first step is we need to refresh firmware to check if they have different firmware. And second is as the NovaStar of the ID manufacturer to find which one is the correct firmware. And last step is upgrade firmware to same. And this is all steps if we found that firmware is different. Here are another question. Question 3. RCFG files and a firmware program, which one is more important? If you think RCFG files is important, please tap 1. If you think firmware program is important, please tap 2. If you think both of them is important, please tap 3. And we will also give out the answer during the question and answer tab. And the fourth reason is that some cabinets has opened the calibration coefficients and some are not. If we check these two pictures, we will find that this cabinet, the uniformity is worse than others, and the other cabinets, the uniformity is better. For this kind of phenomenon, we need to check the calibration coefficient. Do you still remember that the calibration coefficient is saved in the racing card? So for this problem, as the picture shows, it could be that cabinets enable the calibration effect, some are not. Actually, for these cabinets, different brands, a lot of reasons will cause this problem. Maybe this racing card lost its calibration coefficient, or the racing card is new replacement without calibration coefficient. So what should we do next? The first step is that we can manually to enable the calibration again in the non-ICT calibration page. And the second is that if some cabinets still have no calibration, even after you open the calibration, it could be that this cabinet or the swing cards don't have the calibration coefficient inside. Then we need to upload calibration database from them. Do you still remember where can we reload the calibration database? Yes, we need to load it at the NovaStar calibration page. You need to choose the calibration, upload the calibration coefficient. If you don't have the database, then you need to recalibrate it or ask the ID manufacturer to get the correct calibration coefficient. Or you can use the manual way to adjust the cabinet. You can adjust the calibration coefficient. So the first step is that we need to turn on the calibration manually to check if some cabinets don't open the calibration. And next way is that if we found that these cabinets don't have the coefficient, we need to reload again. We can get the calibration coefficient from the manufacturer. And if you don't have the calibration coefficient, you may need to calibrate it again with a camera. If you want to know more information about the calibration coefficient management, you can find more videos on www.novastar.tech, the supporting and training session, NovaStar online workshops to find the guide videos. Here are some videos tell you how to do these steps. And the next important reason is the power supply. Sometimes the issue may not come from the control system parts, such as the power supply. Sometimes when the power supply output is not strong, will cause the ID not have enough driver current. And the cabinets or one of parts on the screen showing different brightness with others. So how can we solve it? We need to check the power supply whether it is normal for all the cabinets with a multimeter. If not, you may need to replace the good power supply unit. And how to know about the value correct or not? You need to check with the ID manufacturer which designed the cabinet. If we check these pictures, we will find that every power supply will output several voltages and the current to the cabinets and the module. So we need to use the the multimeter to measure it if they have a good level. You may need to open the cabinet's rear panel to check. And you can also exchange a new power supply to check if it solves the problem. And here are another question, the question 4. What's the standard operating voltage? If you think it's 3 voltage, please tap 1. If you think it's 5, please tap 2. If you think it's 12, please tap 3. We will also give out the answer during the question and answer chat. And the next possible reason is that the screen with multiple battery modules. If the screen is from different batches, then it's for sure that you have different brightness. Multiple batches means the lamp of the module of the hardboard manufacturing at different channel. The LED lamp has a different wavelength and brightness, will cause the screen looks different. We can improve the effects, but can't totally solve it. Let's check these two pictures. Top one looks is brighter, but bottom one looks is darker. So if we want to install them together as one screen, of course we can see the different brightness between them. Actually, the different batches problem is hard to fix, but we can try to improve screen effects. We can use our IC software with a multi-batch adjustment function, or with the adjust coefficient function. Observe the screen and adjust it. And for the multi-batch modules, you will find that the different modules has different brightness. Even if you turn off the screen, the screen to black, it means that if you found that of the screen is black, the modules is still different. It means that they are different batteries. We can use the multi-batch adjustment function to help you to fix it, but cannot totally solve it. If you want to know more information about multi-batch adjustment, you can also find more videos at the www.NovaStar.check. At the supporting and training session, the NovaStar online workshops, you will find these videos to further guide. After we check all the possible reasons, I'm pretty sure the issue will be fixed. Okay, let's review all the possible reasons. And the first one is the different brightness mode. When we check the Grayscale mode and contrast mode, we need to, all the steps is that we need to manually adjust brightness and choose one working mode. And the next one is change the gamma value to same. And the last step is don't forget to save to the hardware. And the second is that with different RCF files on the screen, we can read back the different RCF files from abnormal and normal cabinets to check if they have different parameters. And if you find that they have different parameters, you can read back the RCF files from normal cabinets and then send to the abnormal cabinets to check. Also, you can also load the original RCF files and then send to the other cabinets to check. This is for different RCF files. And third is that some cabinets with different firmwares. What's the step is that we can go into the firmware upgrade page and then check the cabinet firmware. If they have different firmwares, we need to check with at the manufacturer or at the NovaStar to check which firmware is correct for this kind of cabinet. And if you found the correct firmware, and then use the LCD software to upgrade them to the same program. And the next support reason is that some cabinets has opened the calibration and some cabinets are not. We can manually turn on and turn off the calibration to check. If it still don't show the same brightness, you may need to reload the calibration coefficient. If you don't have it, you may need to ask the ID manufacturer or recalibrate the screen. Of course, you can also use the multi-batch or the calibration adjustment function to help you to solve it. You can find the videos on the www.novastar.tech, the support and training session, NovaStar online workshops to find the guide video. And the next reason is the power supply. We need to use a multimeter to measure the power supply output to make sure them all have the same level. If you found that one of the power supply don't output differently, you may need to change a new power supply and then to check. And the last reason is that the screen with multiple batches modules. This is definitely you can find it when the screen is black. You will find some modules are brighter, some modules are darker. And is that if you found that, it means this modules is different batches. You may need to use the module batch adjustment to help you to optimize it. So this all the 6 reasons for the different brightness issue. After you check all these 6 reasons, I'm sure that you can solve the problem.